Frickin' cameras. Don't you have the flip up screen on the camera to
I
see the
I do.
preview?
Hmm.
That's straight too.
So in the camera screen that I'm looking at right now, the clock is over this shoulder, which is on the other side of my body that you see, which is
And I have to
literally where
point
the
that way, which is not where you are. You're actually
right.
that way.
If I look at the camera screen, I'm pointing where I see the clock. If I look at the StreamYard screen, I'm going to point that way, which is not. They're doing witchcraft in there.
Mirrors. Stage left, stage right.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Good morning, brother Steve.
Morning,
How are
Chris.
you?
I'm doing good, Jim. How are you?
I am fabulous. I've got a long task list today, and as far as I know, none of it is for my wife, so that's even better.
So you'll actually be able to get it done.
Right. I won't be interrupted to do a thing or this thing or that thing. And I got a lot of 3D printing to get started on.
Nice. May the 4th be with you all in the chat.
Right.
So get this. I dropped a video on Friday. I had a Star Wars joke in it and nobody caught it. Everybody got the Kiefer Sutherland 24 reference, but nobody caught the Star Wars reference. Or at least if they did, they didn't
I,
find it funny enough to comment on.
I confess I didn't see that.
The whole video or the Star Wars reference?
Yes. Yes.
So you have a different excuse.
Right.
Your excuse is you're a shitty friend. Okay.
That's exactly right. Yes.
Good morning, Chavez. Thank you very much for the $4.99.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate it. Okay. Wow. Yeah.
John, I expected a comment out of you, and I didn't get one. I'm actually disappointed in you, John.
Right. You know, May the 4th and May the 5th are funny for me. First of all, after the first movie of Star Wars, maybe the second one, I kind of really can't stand. I don't care about Star Wars. Let's go with that. The Mandalorian and the little green guy were tolerable because they were like side canon and they were okay. And the scene in the second season of Mandalorian when Luke came and picked up the little green guy Grogu, I might have. It was dusty in the room. Okay, I'm just saying. I was like,
allergies. It was pollen season.
It is. It's Alabama. It's every day is pollen season. But mostly, I don't care about Star Wars that much, so I don't really care about the May the 4th be with you. Ha ha ha. And my wife's birthday is tomorrow on May 5th.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yes, I know. And the whole world has gone crazy for Mexican Independence Day, which I think is what tomorrow actually is for them. And I'm like, it's just the old lady's birthday. Calm down, people.
Yeah. So my wedding anniversary is on St. Patrick's Day. That way it's very easy to remember.
Now you're Irish. Is Chris Irish?
I think technically she's Welsh, and if you go back through the clan history, our clans were fighting, so I have united the clans.
That's awesome. I can't do a Welsh accent.
I have no idea. As far as I know, Welsh just sounds like, Wookiee.
It's people graveling with a mouthful of rocks while they gargle and try to speak. Yes. Well, what is tomorrow then, 45? What is Cinco de Mayo for? Oh, it's a battle. Never studied Mexican civics, so I did not know.
Yeah.
I also don't celebrate Bastille Day either.
History.
Well, I mean, I'm fairly confident about world history, but I don't know, I didn't. I thought Cinco de Mayo was Mexican Independence Day or something. Cinco de Mayo is the celebration of an army victory over the French. Well, the French probably surrendered anyway.
Matt says the Mexicans don't celebrate it. That's awesome.
I know. Exactly right. As far as I knew, Cinco de Mayo was a reason to go drink again. Because Cinco de Mayo.
We need reasons.
Right? And then Friday will be a day ending in Y is a day to drink. So, I mean, I'm not a Cinco de Mayo guy. So, I have got, has anyone out there ever put in a soft start kit for their air conditioning system? Because that is on my...
I have one coming up.
That is my to-do list today, is to drop in a soft start kit.
So I'm not questioning your judgment, but I'm questioning your judgment. Why are you doing that on a home-based electrical grid system?
Because, and I haven't measured it yet, and I've got a clamp meter so I can actually get in rush. But I think I have a 2-ton air conditioner, 2.5 ton. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll have to go look. But on startup, it's going to pull something like 60 to 80 amps on startup. Yes, I have probably the same one. Does that have an inrush on it?
It does have inrush on it. I haven't used it yet, but I'm going to use it for that video.
Yeah. So on startup, there is a large whoomp, and it pulls a lot of surge current on startup.
It does. Yep.
And then after it starts, of course, then it drops back down, but it's still using a fair amount of current. And the soft start kit will reduce that inrush to a much more manageable level, which is easier on the compressor, which is a very expensive piece to have to replace. So like thousands of dollars to get a new compressor put in. So I put that in. It also, I think, has some surge protection in it as well. And it will reduce the running load of the air conditioner as well, so lower current during runtime. And if you're going to run a generator setup, this will let you run your whole house, including your central air, on something like an 8 or 10K generator easily.
Yeah.
While
so
the lights
my problem
are
is
on.
I only have 30 amps in my RV, and I need every bit of them.
Right. Right.
Thank you, Ron.
Ron, thank you for this. Thank you for the $10 super chat, my friend. I appreciate it.
Jim's getting all choked up again.
I'm about to talk amongst yourselves. So yeah, Ron was the first one here this morning. Ron is number one today.
Jason, the oversharing light is on. Just saying.
So, and Doc, that's why I'm doing it, because with a soft start kit, first of all, down here in Alabama, it's hot as hell, pretty much from April to November, and we run the AC, so it'll end up pulling a whole lot less electricity, and I'll save me a little money there. Plus, which if I ever need to run on the generator, all I've got to do is fire the generator, plug it into the inlet, and I can have delicious room-filling air conditioning in the entire house.
Yeah. In this RV, I've got basically 2 circuits, and they cross halfway down the RV and switch sides, which is even more maddening. So like if I'm going to run like the toaster and the microwave at the same time, I don't even have a toaster in here, but it's an example. I have to split them on different sides of the RV, or I have to run them serially, not parallelly.
Yeah, I don't.
That's the oversharing light, Jason.
That's oversharing. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Hello,
Dave.
Share there. StreamYard.
Dave is authoritative about it too. Pass the damn plate.
And Jody, that's exactly what I'm putting in the Start Flex, which will run from like any size up to 6 tons. And I know I don't have a 6 unit anyway. They started on. That was weird. You just disappeared for a second.
It's you. Yeah, your internet's sucking right now.
Wonderful.
Put a soft start on your Wi-Fi, Jim.
Wonderful. So anyway, that will allow me to pretty much run the entire house on the generator if I need to. Anyway, that's the whole plan with that. And then, I've been doing some other power thinking lately. I bought some used equipment from Steve. See, in my eyes, he's on this side. What you guys are seeing, he's over there, which is me pointing the wrong way on the screen.
Stage right versus stage left. And the weird thing is that we see ourselves on stage the same way you see yourselves, which is not the way we are.
Right.
It's a mental game.
Yes.
He's not really on that side of me. He's actually on that side of me.
And that clock, for reference, that clock that you're looking at right there, literally is on this side of me.
Your left side.
In what I'm seeing, it's showing up on my right side. It's very weird. Anyway. I don't know. It's the internet. Hopefully it'll stay going. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so I bought a power station solar generator from Steve.
You got one of the big ones too.
Yeah, and it's a 2048 watt version. So I've kind of been doing a little more planning. I had a couple small ones. I've had them for a while, and they work fine, and they're enough to run our CPAPs at night, or a fan, or some lights, or whatever. But I wanted more power. I wanted more power. My name is Jim, and Gyms all want more power. So I bought that one from Steve, and it's great. I actually have ordered another one, and it'll be here, and it's a big daddy. It will be here sometime this week. I think it's a 3,800 watt hour one, so about 1,800 more than the one I bought from you.
So the good thing about the one you got for me is it's got high amperage DC out, like a 25 amp DC
Yeah.
output, and most power stations don't do that. They usually top out around 10 amps. And for ham radio, that's QRP, you know.
Right. Right. And guys, I apologize about the I don't know what to do. I mean, there's literally nothing I can do except reboot the entire internet, and that will kind of kill the whole thing.
It's been coming back up. They're just delayed.
Yeah. So anyway, so I bought this 3,800 watt hour one, and the beauty of these things is most of them can be charged directly from a solar panel, which is you don't have to fool with charge controller at all. Just solar power into the thing, and
it's got a built-in charge controller.
Right, a built-in, and they take a wide range of voltage for the charging inputs. So that's awesome, and of course, more voltage, more watts, faster charging. Don just became, oh my God. I mean, I think we need to dance for this because Don just became a member, and
It's like cats sleeping with dogs.
I'm telling you, it's the end times. I don't know. I can't find the. Well, whatever. We'll do this one. Thank you, Don, very much. Appreciate it. He's doing that so he can keep an eye on me. Anyway, so
all the behind-the-scenes access,
right? So I can talk to Don on one more Zoom call a month. So anyway, that's cool about those things. There's multiple ways to charge them. Of course, almost all of them come with a 120 volt plug to in some direct plug-in or a wall wart to charge them. You can charge them, most of them, off your car if you want to sit there and run your truck to charge your battery. So I also bought a 4,000 watt dual fuel generator, which the plan is if we had an extended outage here, I now will have enough battery power to run everything I need in the house, and I can also recharge power stations off the generator. And should I need the air conditioning, I can plug the generator into the house. And
right. The big magic with those is to run the generator enough to charge the battery, and then turn the generator off to save gas, and then run off of the battery for 4, 5, 6 hours. And then there's some other things you can do, like don't get into your refrigerator at all.
Right.
So run it for like 1 hour every 4 hours.
Right.
And it'll keep your food cool if you stay out of it. And if you are getting into it, open it, grab it, put it back in. Like, think ahead, plan ahead in order to keep the cold inside. Because the way that refrigerators are designed, when you open the door, literally the cold air falls out of the bottom.
Yep.
You can't really see it, but it happens.
That's the way cold air is designed. The cold air falls out. Damn it.
So when you go into the grocery store and they have all the open top refrigerator freezer containers, it's because cold air falls. So, the food inside the cooler is cold.
Cold air is denser. Flying is better in cold air than hot air, right, Bill? So Don must be, he must have had a religious experience this morning already. Don has gifted 10 memberships.
Thank you, Don.
To the people. Bill got a membership. Ham Radio Tectonics. Doc Adams got one. Steve Hansen. Darren Archer. JW9JCR. Frequency Frontiers. Hey, Dave. Greg Euler got one. Let's see. Alex Ryder, Travis, Echo 2, Papa 2. I think that's it. So awesome. Thank you very much, Don. And guys, you were gifted a membership, so that means that week after next, we have the FEP Lab Zoom call.
Right.
And I will post in the community on my channel, and you'll see that eye out for messages from YouTube that way. If you want to continue your membership and I would love that if you do. They will automatically, if you were gifted a membership, it will automatically expire at the end of the month, the end of the 30 days. I don't know if it's a calendar month or I think it's 30 days. So if you want to continue your membership, you will have to go in and manually continue or join the channel directly.
And they'll send you an email reminder and everything too.
Yeah. Right. So exactly. Don's spirit was moved by conclave.
He's waiting for the Cardinals to let the smoke out.
Smoke, baby. I don't even think they've started meeting yet.
Lazy
Stephen LeBlanc, thank you for the $5.99 super chat. I appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you, Stephen.
Matt, that's exactly right. Don is high on solder fumes. But yeah, Steve, you nailed it. That's the entire plan. Is with the battery packs, I have enough. With the two bigger ones, I can certainly run a fridge off of them and leave it.
Mm-hmm.
And the small ones, I have, lights, fans, whatever I need, kind of thing. And then so it's kind of staged. We can with it's only a short outage. We can run off battery packs. It's a longer outage. I need to recharge battery packs. Or holy crap balls, I need to plug the generator into the inlet plug and light things up in the house. And I don't have my inlet plug actually needs to be rewired, but that's another story. So
it was weird to me. Chuck and I went to Quartz Fest a couple of years ago. We went last year also, but a couple of years ago, when Liberty Cave was there was a group of. It was a separate ham club that wasn't there for Quartz Fest. It was the Good Sam Radio Club or something like that. And they all brought out their generators and they ran their generators for a solid week straight. And it's like, aren't you guys hams? Don't you like to play with technology? Wouldn't you want to use your generator to charge your battery and see how long you could get your station to run? And nah, we just turn the generator on, let that noise. And then they yelled at Chuck for running his motorcycle. It's like, really?
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
I ran my motorcycle for 15 seconds on the way out of camp, and you ran your generator for 5 solid days.
And I don't want to run the generator at night. When I go to sleep, I want to hear the sound of crickets and grass growing, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's the best part about going to Quartzsite is there's nothing there.
With the batteries, honestly, if I have a fan and the CPAP's working, I'm good. I may sleep commando. That's none of your business.
The oversharing light is on.
Oversharing? Probably. I snorted. Probably so. Oh my gosh. That's right, Bill. Quit making all the racket and get off my lawn. So yeah, Steve made a very good point. These power stations, first of all, the prices on them are getting pretty damn good. The After one I got from TO, I just bought his battery. And you get a lot more DC power, you get a lot more AC power. Of course, everybody's got USB outlets. You should have at least one USB-C D outlet and then a couple maybe USB-A quick charge outlets. The internet's doing it again, isn't it?
Try changing your camera from 1080 down to 720 in StreamYard settings.
Okay.
That should cut your bandwidth consumption in half, I hope.
Well, should have 40 gig down, so chargers apparently have issues.
But you don't, yeah. Somebody didn't pay the bill this morning. There, I'm at 720 now too.
Okay.
No signal. What?
I sound like Peter Frampton. Hey, man, good morning. Bob, thank you for $10 super chat.
Thank you, Bob.
From Helena, Alabama. It's right up the road from me, about 70 miles or so, but up the road. All right. So the other thing we wanted to talk about this morning is the radio situation. Right here. Add stage. I'm talking.
See how awkward this could get. See, Jim runs Windows, so if he reboots right now, he might get stuck in an update session, and we won't see him again. He'll have to join from his phone.
Wow.
Ah, and he's gone. You guys are saying he worked on the house electricity, didn't he? Yeah, he put a soft start on his Wi-Fi. It hasn't caught up yet. Hasn't gotten up to full speed. We'll see if Jim can catch back up to us. But in the chat, how many of you guys are running on any kind of battery power for your stations? And what do you think of those powered generator stations? They call them solar generators, and a lot of people get wrapped around the axle on that. But a gas generator doesn't generate gasoline, so a solar generator shouldn't be generating solar, shouldn't be generating sunlight. I've been working on my wall of awesome over here. I've got a solar charge controller, I've got a DC load, I've got an inverter. I'm going to put up some circuit breakers. So I've got some circuit breakers that I'm working on, and trying to figure out where I want to put these in the system. There's like the right place to put them, and then there is the place to put them so that they can be usable for what I do. Like you should put these on the output terminal of the battery, so that way you can, monitor too much battery draw coming in. But the battery also has a BMS in it. I'm thinking about putting them up on the board over here, and then I can turn things off and disconnect things, and de-energize the wall of awesome and play with it that way. And then I have these bus bars, and these things are really good for landing power, but they also take up a lot of space compared to what we're used to with the Anderson power pole. So you have to have one for hot and one for neutral, and in order to get these on the board properly, they've got to go side by side, because the way the connections come, they come in from the side, they don't come in from the front like they do for power poles. You can get power poles that come from the side, but most of our our power pole distribution blocks are um, sticking out the front. So what do we got in here? Liberty Cave says, I use straight batteries. The solar controllers I have don't have HF horsepower output. So you should run the solar controller into the battery and then run the radio off of the battery. I'm sure you know that, but just putting that out there in case anybody else was wondering. And then your battery's where all the horsepower comes from. Jody says he runs his station on refurbished APC UPSs with lead acid batteries because they were cheap. Yes. Jim, are you outdoors now?
Yep.
Holy moly.
Well, I'm not really set up for it. I'm on the
Look at
carport.
Jim in the easy chair on the porch. What the
This is
hell?
the old chair from the shop. It stays on the porch. I'm on cellular data at this point, so
Nice.
God only knows. I obviously can't share any screens now, To. So
Okay. We were talking about if anybody in the chat was running on batteries, so they started answering those questions. Jody's running on used APC UPS batteries, the old slabs, sealed lead acid batteries. I guess those are AGM technically. Portable as battery with backup charging from the truck as necessary. Your truck is a huge generator.
oh yeah.
And then Hacks with Axe says he has an SLA battery float charging in parallel with my power supply as sort of a UPS. So your truck would be an emergency generator. The alternator in your truck isn't designed for that kind of duty cycle, but just sitting idling in your driveway, you're producing, I don't know, depending on the size of your truck, you could be producing up to 100 amps of electricity for no useful gain.
Yeah, I mean, don't they rate alternators by output amperage, I believe?
Yeah,
So
you buy like a 100 amp alternator.
right. A typical car I think is about 100 amps. Certainly a truck is. I don't know. I know in the fire department we had to beef up the alternators in our trucks because
It's a
we had,
huge electric load, yeah.
yeah, because of the electrical load in the thing.
Don, I do not know where to get those plastic caps. I'll take a look and see if I can find them. Most of my batteries have come with them, and so that's why I have them. And I like keeping them because, exposed metal studs with positive electricity in DC is not fun.
So caps of what size? You could probably 3D print them, Don.
M8, M8 caps. Does Don have a 3D printer?
Yes, Don does. Don
Oh
bought an
yeah, there you
A1, I'm
go.
pretty sure. Donald, go look on Fangs or Yagi and search for M8 caps because I'm sure they have a print for it. I've printed a ton of SO239 covers and BNC covers for my scopes and all that kind of stuff.
We got a question in the chat for you. Bought a new radio and wants to know what our thoughts on it. It's the Icom IC756. Let me see if I can get a screen share on that.
That
I haven't
is an
used
older
one
radio.
directly.
That's an older radio, isn't it? A
Oh yeah,
756. Yeah.
yeah. It's the predecessor to the 7300, and I think it's the predecessor to the one model before that also.
I had a 746 Pro at one point, Kurt, and it was a great radio. I sold it just because I moved on to something different, mostly because I like to play with different radios. But yeah, that's a big Hummer. That's bigger than the 746. Of course, that looks like that has speakers on it too, right?
Yeah, you got a power supply on the left-hand side and a speaker on the right-hand side. So this is back before God created the technology of merging a power supply and speaker into one. And then it has the screen. This looks like the screen from the 5100 style, like that style of screen. It's the
Mm-hmm.
LCD.
Yeah.
Because the 7100 has a nicer screen than that. And then lots of buttons. Triple band stacking register, 101 memories, built-in tuner. Looks like a great radio. What's the backside look like? That's what I care
Show us
about.
its hind parts. Is
So
that
two antenna
DVI?
ports.
Is that
No, it's
DVI?
the no. The one on the bottom is the antenna tuner connector, the Molex for the antenna tuner, and the
Oh,
one on the
okay.
top is the Molex for the power. And then it's got the 13 pin port. So Tom WA2 IVD has a breakout board for you for that. And then there's a
Yeah,
couple of
that'd be
other
a good
ports over
addition
here,
for that. Absolutely.
but two antenna ports and a phono jack for receive. Two antenna ports leads me to believe, without checking first, that it's all band.
Dual VFO, I would assume, with two antenna ports, right?
It's either two HF antennas, and I don't see any specs, or it's an HF and a VU. But this isn't saying anything at all about specs. Let's go back a page.
I don't know if
No,
y'all can
it's
hear the geese in the background.
HF 6 meters, a little bit.
Yeah, the snowbirds are down here.
Yeah, it looks like a fantastic radio. DigiRig has cables for it, and the DigiRig itself, so you can get it on digital modes. And if you do get an ICOM DigiRig setup, I did it in my 703 video. There is a special solder bridge and solder trace cut
Yep.
that you have to do inside in order to make it speak ICOM.
Yep.
But it works great. So you can see that in my 703 FT8 video.
You know, a little known fact about DigiRigs, especially if you've never had one, the standard DigiRig that's in the box, about 2 inches long and about an inch wide, kind of thing, that pretty much works with any radio. The whole difference, see, I'm pointing to the wrong camera. T.O.'s the other way, but in my eyes, he's over here. The thing T.O. just mentioned, any DigiRig will work with just about
Mm-hmm.
um, any radio, because
Your
inside is
Baofengs all
about,
the way up to your
yep,
huge, expensive HF stations.
yep, because there's like 6 solder pads inside the board, and it's a pretty straightforward board, and you just make or break connections between those solder pads, and that information is on DigiRig's website. So if you like me, I have one or two DigiRigs, but I've had them on like probably 17 different radios, so the cables are the magic for DigiRigs. So
Marvin, thank you for the 550 super chat.
appreciate it, Marvin. Thank you. Guys, I'm sorry about the internet situation. I, I have zero control over that. Thank God I got cell signal out here, right? We can see beautiful East Pentlala.
I don't know why you don't spend more time outside. That looks lovely, Jim.
Well, I actually, and I promise I will do it next week, weather permitting. I was actually planning to stream from outside. I just didn't get up in time to get everything set up, and it was raining like a warthog last night, so I couldn't pre-set up anything. Because I'm going to do live from East Pentlala, and I see I'm outside. I'm actually technically in the carport at the moment because I don't have a yard chair available.
The lanai.
I'm on the lanai. That's right. This is where Mrs. Perry gets to park. My parking is out yonder. So someday I'll get to park where the big kids do, if she lets me.
98% humidity. Just one more point and it's going to start raining.
Right. It's actually beautiful this morning. It rained a lot last night and hard, but a front came through, and so it's probably about 65, 68 out here right now, getting up to about 75 today. It's a beautiful day. I cannot see the
10
comments
temps.
at all, TO, so
Okay.
they're not showing up on the phone.
Weird. So Kurt was saying that he hasn't done
There it
digital
is.
yet. He's a sinner, and he's got a Tech Corsair too. And I've used a Tech Jupiter, but I have not used a Tech Corsair. It's a Tech makes good radios.
Tio is your favorite ham YouTuber, but he's come to realize that I'm his spirit animal. Thank you, Clinodev. See Linodev. I don't know how to say that name.
We keep asking, and I keep forgetting. But thank you. It's
Is
me.
800 too much for IC 756 Pro 2, Pro 3?
So I would say yes, but I don't know all of the features. And here's the reason why. 800-ish is the price range for a brand new Yaesu 710. So why would you want 20-year-old technology when you can get 10-year-old technology, brand new
Yeah,
with a warranty?
yeah. 800 is too much. Any radio, like Steve said, use a 991 or a 7300 as your benchmark, or the 710. I forget about the 710. But I mean, yeah, $400, maybe 500 if you really, really, really want that big radio.
Yeah. So this is why we're getting it wrong, Jim. It's pronounced exactly like we've done it, Clino Dev. But
Okay,
we look at it and we think it should be pronounced differently, playing tricks on us.
right, right,
Yeah, unless there's some special reason for you to have a 756. Like I said, it's a good radio. It's just older technology. Unless there's like a warm spot in your heart, like I want a 10 Tech
right,
Scout because I think it's a cool looking radio, so I'm willing to pay more for it. But it's not as good as a modern radio of the same price tag.
right. We have a request for me to walk around, so I may do that here in a minute.
Ooh, doing the walking tour.
Do the walking tour. I don't have my sunglasses on, so hopefully I won't go blind. I
The
try to
sun.
stay out of the sunlight that much, but
Your people don't like the sun, Jim.
my people historically don't really like bright lights, garlic, mirrors, crosses, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it just doesn't usually work out for us. Let's see. Lon, his spirit animal is a chicken, a two-piece with fried okra and a biscuit. Hell
Fried
yeah.
okra is nice.
If you get,
He'll,
the old lady makes the best fried okra. It's like okra popcorn, and it's
nice.
like a snack food. It's not like that soggy stuff you get from restaurants. It's, oh my God, it's delicious.
Might be Lee. Lee was going out cutting holes in paper. How'd that go, Lee?
That's always a good time.
The most expensive way to cut holes in paper, but also the most fun.
Oh, definitely. I love this sound of gunpowder. Kurt, there's nothing wrong with that radio. And
No,
please
not at
don't
all.
misunderstand us. 756s. I had a 746 and it was a fine radio. There's nothing wrong with it at all. All we're saying is I'd be wary of paying. And you said you paid 500 or 550.
That's a
That's
good price.
that's a good price. I wouldn't pay 800 for a radio that old. Not when I could get a
Yeah.
brand new 710 or something like that.
Ham Hertz says, didn't someone buy 10 Tech to keep them alive? Yes, they did get new ownership.
Right. I don't know who. I don't remember. I saw an article about that, but I don't
Yeah,
remember.
they're calling themselves 10 Tech still, so 10 Tech bought 10 Tech.
Right. How do I get this share your referral link off my screen?
Oh,
Ah,
yeah. StreamYard Mobile, it's like we've never used our product and don't realize just how little tiny screen real estate we have.
right. I
You
don't
certainly
want to.
don't click it to share it with the audience.
Yeah, I was trying to slide it and make it go away. Yeah, Jody, I heard about the Broadcom VMware thing, and apparently I'm not a VMware guy. I mean, I know what it is and all that, but apparently Broadcom is making it even worse. John, I had the same problem. Are you on Spectrum, my friend? I could be an area-wide outage.
Yeah, how close are you to John?
Oh, John is probably 6 hours away, 7 hours.
Because he's South Carolina?
Yes. But I mean, South Carolina's a hump because you got to cross all of Georgia to get to South Carolina. It's John's probably a good 5 to 7 hours away, somewhere in there. He's almost as far as Orlando is from me.
Chris has given us the knowledge. Dishtronics bought 10 Tech in 2016.
Okay. Well, Tio, can you pull up while I'm getting ready to go on a walking tour, can you pull up the DX engineering page for a 710 and a DX10
Yeah,
and
sure.
the landing page for the FTX-1 so we can take a look at those? I feel that we kind of I don't want to clickbait everybody. We did say we were going to talk about them.
Go speculate.
So I have an old house. I don't know if I can change cameras on this thing
You can,
while
but
I'm
it's not easy.
while I'm doing this. I'm going to solo me, and I'll change to wide view. So I live in an old house, 1961, and I live in the country out here. You can see my life. I have power lines right here in front of the house. I have power lines going beside the house, and then the feed comes from that pole right there to the back of my house. I have power lines on 3 sides of the dang house. There's my carport in the back and my shop back in the trees. Hopefully no squirrels are out to knock a tree limb off today. And we're on about an acre and a half or so. So part of this is mine and part of that is the neighbors. They bought the house in June of last year and haven't actually moved in yet. I don't really get
Those are the
that.
best kind of neighbors.
Well, they show up every week or so and they haven't
To
brought
cut
in
the
any.
grass.
Yeah, they got a guy that does that during the week. And they
Oh,
put in a little bit of furniture and I don't know. I mean, 8 months since they've closed on that house. And it was Julie's cousin over there and she moved to town. So this is the Kronos test rig here, also
the
known
tree.
as a magnolia tree. Yes. And I just that's my shack right there. And the cables come out the side. And then I just ran a coax down here to the base of the magnolia tree, and there's the fiberglass pole, as you can see, deployed in the magnolia tree. And then
Actually, we can't see it.
okay, oops,
You get the sun angle wrong.
yeah, well, it's dark. It's down here. There's a,
Oh, okay, I can see it now.
you see my big black pole?
Yep.
And then this is ours still, and then that is shared family land, and the cattle are not out there right now. So septic tank, backyard, my brother-in-law and his stuff. Ooh, this is a lot of sun exposure. If my skin starts to smoke on camera, let me know. And then the backyard. And then all that behind my shop is ours up to the fence too. So anyway, there's the tour. Am I still here or have I lost the internet again?
You're still there. You're good.
Okay.
They're telling you to hydrate. Make sure you don't pass out. Get enough salt. Check out your electrolytes.
I got coffee waiting for me back on the carport. That's where I'm headed right now.
All right. I'm gonna unsolo you, and I got the FT710 field shown up on the
Beautiful.
screen here.
So my point that I wanted to kind of look at about this video was what makes the FTX-1 better than a 710, which is the newest one before this, right?
Yeah, the FTX-1 Optima, which has got the 100 watts, or just the FTX-1. That's a stupid name. FTX-1-1F or whatever the hell it is.
The Optima one, the 100-watt model.
Yeah. So what
So
makes it better, quote unquote, is the all mode portion of it.
okay.
And then the fact that if you're getting the Optima, then you also get a second, quote unquote, free radio included that you can take with you out in the field that's lower power.
Is it better than a 710 other than it's all band, all mode?
If you if you need those things, or if you're space compromised or things along those lines, yes, it would be better than a 710. But if you have no need for all mode 2 meter, then you're just spending money on something that you may use in the future.
What's the retail price on a 710? A brand new one, TO?
Right here, it is $884.95. And so we were talking about this earlier. Why get the 756 used for $800 when you can get a brand new radio for $884. This isn't even the best price. This is just DX engineering.
Right. So that radio is like what, a year old or so, I
Yeah.
believe, and has all the features. The only thing it doesn't have is 2-meter 440, and I don't think it does C4 FM since it doesn't have 2 meters on it anyway.
Right.
So that's a nice radio. There's nothing wrong with any of these radios, and there's nothing wrong with the FTX-1. Me personally, I don't understand the marketing on it. I guess I don't see the marketing need. If you know, I don't know. I'd buy the 710 and then buy a used 400 or a 500 if I just had to have C4 FM, for example, on UHF or VHF rather, either one. I mean, you're more of a marketing guy, but that's the only thing I really see is that this has the digital stuff in it. And the other thing it doesn't have is, and we're not sure about this, this is a little bit of speculation, but it doesn't seem to have any way to hook up a network to it because it doesn't have Wi-Fi, and it apparently won't work with the LAN 10 dingus.
Which is another expense.
Which is $300. Yeah, that LAN dingus to add LAN to add network, hardwired network to other Yaesus is a $300 dingus. And I'm not trying to make this an ICOM Yaesu comparison, but the 7610 has network built in. The 710 or the 705 has network built in. And I get the FTX1 as an answer to a 705 because the 705s are wildly popular.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you and Ape and Chuck have one, I know,
Mm-hmm.
and Chuck actually bought an ICOM, which is, remarkable in and of itself. And it's a very popular radio, and I see the FTX1 as that. I don't get the Optima. I think it's kind of weird. And then it doesn't have a separation cable. And they're kind of pushing it as a mobile thing, but you can't separate the head, so
There's
it's
some
not really mobile.
speculation about that. I can't imagine that they were so short-sighted as to not do that. And I
Right.
know that somebody will probably come out with a product very soon to solve that problem that Yaesu apparently can't solve. But it does have a very small separation cable from the head to the Optima body.
Right. Yeah, and we saw a picture yesterday. There's a picture floating around on, where did I see the picture? Oh, on Yesu's YouTube video that they put out. They had a picture of
While saying it doesn't have a separation cable, they're showing a
while
picture of it having a
yes,
separation cable.
yes. So I don't know. I assume it's going to be released at Dayton. I would be surprised if it was not out at Dayton. And
I mean,
you'll
clearly what
know,
people want is a modern version of the IC7100.
hmm something like that. And I wanted to like the 7100. I had a 5100. I wanted to like the 7100. But that form factor's weird and I hate the screen. And it's just like, no.
Once So I've told you this before. Once
Yes.
you see the 7100 in person and you actually use it, it makes a lot more sense. But until you actually put your hands on it, it's such an odd duck that has never existed in ham radio before that you just resist naturally. And the screen is different between the 5100 and the
Right.
7100.
And I remember you telling me that, and that is a very good point. I was very prejudiced after having a 5100 and going, wow, my laptop from 1987 called and they want their
Passive
screen back.
matrix, super twist pneumatic.
Um, that's amazing that you remembered all that because I sure didn't. Oh, I snorted again. Sorry.
Yeah, the 5100 screen is bad. I mean, it actually looks like it's going to smear while you're looking at it. And it probably does have a refresh rate problem as you're spinning the dial where the numbers just turn into a blur if you spin too fast.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess my thought on the FTX1, which is mirrored by what Yesu officially has said in some YouTube comments, you just don't get it. And I guess that's my problem too, because I just don't get it.
That's not the way to talk to your customers though.
That's what they said. I
Oh,
mean,
I know
that's
it's what they.
literally.
I saw the comment. Yeah,
Yeah,
literally,
literally.
they came to the con. I'm sorry you don't understand how the product works. Like, as the head of marketing, I'm sorry is not the right answer. Do a better job.
Yeah, I mean, I would think you got to make me want this. And then what's the price on these two things? So I think the FTX-1, the just the mobile piece or field piece or whatever you want to call it, it's like 1400. So it's priced about the same as a 705, which I get. That's
Hmm.
Yaesu's answer to a 705.
But
Makes
it should have
perfect
Wi-Fi.
sense. But but it should bloody well have Wi-Fi. And I know they said it has Bluetooth, but all I've seen written down is that it supports Bluetooth audio,
Yeah,
which means it ain't got cat control via Bluetooth, which
right,
means your only cat control is going to be via USB like you were stuck
wired,
in 2001.
right. So Bill's got a real quick question. He says, "Do I have that wrong? The Optima is the field radio able to attach the 100-watt amplifier." Kinda, and I don't know if you're saying it right and I'm hearing it wrong, but what's going on is they have a 705 shaped head. It's actually much thinner than the 705. That is your touchscreen and your knobs and your buttons interface to a QRP 6 watt slash 10 watt radio. And then
Right.
the Optima part tosses in this little black box that has a speaker, a tuner, and a 100-watt amplifier for HF and a 50-watt amplifier for VHF and UHF. So technically, when you're spending that 2,000-ish dollars on the Optima version, you're getting like 4 radios in one. And when you're spending the $1,500, you're getting 2 radios in one, QRP radios.
QRP radios, yeah. And
Which I
then
don't
there
have a
was,
problem with QRP because I know how to ham. I'm fine with it.
yeah, we do talk a lot of shit on another channel about QRP. I mean, there's a lot of times when it's less crap to carry for one. It's a whole lot lighter. And if you're doing a soda activation, you ain't carrying a 100 amp hour battery up the hill. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think the FTX-1 looks nice, but I don't know. I mean, the 710 field, right? That's the smaller 710 without the speaker add-on. Is not that big.
Yes.
And if you really
Well, the
want
710 is
QRP,
small
turn
to
the
begin
volume
with.
down. Right. It's not a big radio. And if you really, really want QRP, turn down the power, right?
Correct, Bill.
I don't see getting I don't know. Handman's car is filling up with POTA stuff. And
Awesome.
Hillbilly, I mean, I know I'm just lazy. I'm going to turn the dial up to 11 and leave it there most of the time. But and somebody said the 7100 is more space friendly. That would be a true statement as well.
Yeah, because you can hide 90% of the radio under the desk in the cabinet behind the
Be-
chair out of the way.
because it has a separation cable,
Yeah.
right? Exactly. So I sold my 2730.
Yes, Lumber.
Doc
It can be.
Doc Brad bought it for me, and I put in the Kenwood 710 that I bought at Orlando. And I realized after I had moved all the wiring, or as I was finishing up the wiring,
Right, Matt?
that the mic connector for the D710 plugs into the base unit, not the head. I was like, damn it. That was an upside to the 2730.
You might as well just run power poles, antenna wire, and 2 RJ45 shielded twisted pair cables when you're
Right?
doing your install. Just get it done.
Right. I have an extension cable and I'm gonna put that in today. I I don't know. I'm rethinking it. I mean, I really like the radio. I like the screen, even though it's not black with white text like the 2730, which is a beautiful screen. I just can read it easier and I like it better. And then yeah, William, that's exactly what it is. It's a Cat 6 male female extension cable is all it is.
Yeah, but for the trouble, quote unquote, trouble of doing a mobile install, I'd get the shielded Cat 6.
Yeah. Or you could go full metal jacket and go Cat 8, which is like the really shielded stuff.
Yeah. It's one of those buy
But
once, cry once, because I'd rather buy it and
right.
know it's going to work and not have to redo all that. Like, this body ain't meant for working under car seats anymore.
Right? That's exactly right. This body is too old for that kind of stuff. William, there's Cat 6
Right, LC?
is shielded. Cat 8 is more shielded. That's all I remember right now.
I don't know because I haven't taken apart a Cat 6 cable, but I don't know that they're shielded.
Well, I think it is. Cat 6 is STP shielded twisted pair. So it's
Yep.
got I believe it has a foil wrap around it.
It's got a foil hat on, yeah.
Yeah. A tinfoil hat like another friend of ours. And then there
Friend is
is
kind of stretching it.
an acquaintance of ours. And then there's more shielding in Cat 8 or something. I don't know. So like your Cat 5, your original Cat 5 wiring is UTP unshielded twisted pair. There's no shielding on it at all. So Cat 8 is just higher spec shielded wire. The difference between 5 and 6, Dave, well, there's 5 and then there's 5E and then there's 6. Cat 5 is 100 meg up to 100 meters, more or less. Cat 5E is gigabit up to 100 meters, I believe. And then
Wow.
Cat 6 is probably is gig up to maybe farther than 100 meters or possibly 10 gig up to that 100 meters. So each number or letter adds on more distance and or more speed in some combination. And I don't remember all of them off the top of my head. Tio, what happened to you?
I was playing with my camera and it decided to shoot itself in the foot. I'll be right back. 3
Okay, I just
seconds.
wanted to make sure I was still here and not talking to myself on the screen. So that's the difference. There's is more speeds and more whatever. And that's the bandwidth, John, right? I was talking about Ethernet speed because I don't remember the bandwidths on them at all. But yeah. So anyway, Cat 5, of which I have like 500 feet of the crap in a box in my shed, is not really good for anything except hooking up stuff that doesn't do gigabit Ethernet. And a lot of your IoT devices still don't do gig E. But mostly I use it for test radials. I just cut off a bunch of it and twist the pairs together and make a bunch of Cat 5 radials. So anyway, yeah, I mean, honestly, if you yeah, Matt makes a very good point. I can't highlight his comment. Yeah, but the signal between the Yaesu is not going to be super high bandwidth. Cat 5 is probably blessedly fine, other than you're in a car, so you have a lot of crap running. More shielding, more better. It doesn't hurt, but do you probably need it? No, I doubt you need Cat 8 or even Cat 6 in a car. And I mean, I bought I had a male female extension cable already, and all I have here is some keystones for mounting in the wall. So it would have been a ghetto cable if I made it, but I bought one with a nice end on it.
I
You
tried to
should
switch my
not.
camera to vertical for solidarity and,
Oh,
you know,
well, I can.
brothers.
I'll go sideways. I mean, this whole stream kind of went sideways at the start, right?
Right?
So anyway, it just kind of depends on your application and what you're doing. Honestly, any of it will most likely work. I've told the story, and most of y'all probably already heard it. When I bought my FTM 500 at Dayton 2 years ago, Yaesu does not provide a separation cable. They provide a cable about that long to hook the head to the body, and Bob's your uncle. So T.O. and I ran to Home Depot, and I bought, I think it was a Cat 6 cable for $10.99 or something. It was not expensive. And that's what I ended up using to hook up my FTM 500 head to the body of the radio, which is under the back seat of my truck. So, and as you can see, I don't know how well you can see it, but I have a Super Crew truck with the large back seat kind of thing. So I needed like a 10 or 12 foot cable to route it down there to get to the FTM 500 head, and it works fine. Now, Yaesu told me officially, we don't want people using Ethernet cable because it's not the same cable and it doesn't have shielding and it won't work. You need to buy our special Yaesu cable, which is a complete load of bullshit. Just put in decent Ethernet cable and it's fine. And like Matt said, the signal's probably that much bandwidth anyway, so it's not really a big deal. Okay, you
There we go.
changed to vertical. Okay, now I have to
Now I'm
change
vertical.
back to vertical. So when I'm vertical, I can see like the last 3 comments, so it's a little easier. But right, hey man, they didn't sell me the cable. That's why they're butthurt about it. Well, and a Yaesu rep has said that on streams that you need to use the Yaesu cable, other cables.
Well,
We've
of
had
course he
problems
did.
with people calling in and saying it doesn't work, and I'm like, I don't know how they made it not work because it works bloody well fine.
Under certain circumstances, if you have a certain amount of RFI coming back into your
Right,
shack, you might have problems with an unshielded cable, or the cable itself at certain lengths might actually become an antenna.
right,
Yes.
right.
Oh, now I sound different, of course.
You sound fine.
Yeah,
That
I'm
sounds
lower
like a
again.
better mic than you sound fine here.
I changed from Chrome. I changed from Brave to Chrome also. It's crazy.
Oh, is Chrome back working again with StreamYard?
Oh, I don't know. Remember, we used Brave because we had the extra camera set up and it was going crazy trying to.
Yep.
So we're gonna do the extra camera on Nuggets on Monday night. I got a dingus to repair while we do our Q&A session. So if you haven't gotten your questions in yet, then get your questions in. I'll drop a link for that in the chat.
Make it happen, people, because we'd love to have questions. I just before so back to the FTX-1 while he's dropping links. I don't say that it's a bad radio. I think it's probably a great radio. Yaesu makes good gear. Nothing wrong with it at all. I just kind of question its place in the food chain,
In the Hamaverse.
in the Hamaverse. And I mean, I saw a lot of comments on videos about people wanting to buy it and running out to buy it, and I'm like, I don't see it. But that's my opinion and worth every penny you've paid for it. So take it with a large grain of salt, discard it, and do what you want.
Yeah. And Jim's a pro. He's actually had this radio in his vehicle with this unshielded twisted pair Home Depot network cable.
Yes, not the 7 FTX-1. We're talking about the FTM 500. Yep, still there, still cooking. Does the 10 do C4 FM? The
I don't
7100
think
does
so.
not do C4 FM. It is going to do D-Star. But
It does D-Star, yes.
so James, you said FTX-10. You mean the DX10, or was that FTX-10 as in Optima? I think that might be an O as in Optima.
I think I said I was an Optima.
Yeah. So the answer to that then is yeah. That's the only difference. Because the 7100 will do 100 watts, and the 7100 does digital voice D-Star. The Optima will do C4 FM and 100 watts. And what's the current price on a 7100? I guess it's still in production, right?
It's actually, yeah, it's still in production and it should have had an upgrade. Let's take a look.
I mean, aren't they like 8 or 900? Maybe a little more. I'm not sure.
There got to be more than that because it's an all band, all mode radio. 1199, 1200. That's what I thought it would be.
And the 710 and the DX10 do not do C4 FM.
No.
So, and the 7100 has a built-in tuner, correct?
No, it does not. It has the ability to connect to a tuner and be
Oh, okay.
controlled by the tune button on the front of the radio. Kind of the
Oh,
same way as the
I thought
705.
it had an inbuilt tuner.
Nope.
Okay.
There wasn't room 20 years ago when they developed that radio.
Is that radio that old?
No, but it should be. It's got that old of technology. I complain about this a lot, but I mean
Yes,
it's a jab. And
we
what it
both do.
is cell phones have a refresh rate of like every 6 to 12 months there's new inventions and technology and things going on in cell phones, and every 20 years or so there's new technology going into ham radios that's already 40 years old, like the ASP technology and the new Yaesu radios. That's been around. I mean, Texas Instruments invented that 98, 99.
7100 came out in 2012.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize it was that old.
But when it came out, it wasn't new technology, is what I was getting at.
Right. Hmm.
I mean, 2012, we had Wi-Fi. We had what version? Because that's got mini USB. We had micro USB in 2012. I don't know when. Well, shit, no. 2012, we had USB-C.
Was it out that long ago?
It has to be out that old. Yeah. Let's
I
see.
don't think so.
When was USB-C invented? Try an AI-assisted answer. Da, da, da. Generating. 2014. Ah, okay. So I will grant them mini USB, but they micro USB, but they still used mini.
Lee said TI had DSP in 1980 or so.
Yeah. So ASP is the opposite of the DSP technology. Well, no, not opposite. DSP is what ham radio manufacturers call it when they receive the incoming HF signal and clean it up so that you don't get all that harsh sounding white noise in the background of the sound. ASP is Yaesu now taking that same technology on HF and putting it into UHF VHF, as far as I understand it.
That's the same thing I understand. And we love acronyms. I mean, I'm pretty sure that PC sound cards have had DSP for the last umpteen thousand years.
Yeah,
It's a
Lee is
shame.
saying it was created in 1980. I totally can buy that.
Yeah. I mean, you could get a sound blaster with DSP back in the day. Back when you thought Leisure Suit Larry was the pinnacle of pornographic adult video games. And you didn't want your mom to see you playing it. I couldn't remember the tune.
Yeah, this I remember the tune. That's kind of sad.
Totally is. Well, I see that we're past time, and I would like to thank everybody for hanging around through my internetish problems this morning. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys being here. I think we had a pretty good discussion. Tio, what is coming up for you, my friend?
Yeah, so I've got some more antenna review stuff. It's going to be clarinet practice over here at Casa de TO. It's actually a new antenna that Radioddity has just released. So we'll
That
do some
looks
stuff on that.
very portable.
It's extremely portable, and on top of that, it's actually very well done. The whole case and everything is nice. It's a coil loaded vertical, and this is the coil, so it's all internal. And then there's this little slider button here where you can change
Oh,
the resonant point on the thing. But notice nothing moved. I mean, I can feel it move inside. Maybe you can hear it.
yeah, like a little ratchety sound.
Yeah, so I got to check to see if it's weatherproof. I mean, it's going to work. It's an antenna. All antennas work, despite some grumpy old men talking about how it's a compromise and it's not going to work and all this kind of stuff.
But Tio, is
So
it
that's going to be.
resonant? Is it resonant?
Yes, it is. Once you bring it into tune, it is resonant, and it's also high Q, which is funny because the OMs hate coil verticals, but they love high Q antennas because you get this kind of signal rejection. Like I can't hear anything out here; I can only hear this bit.
Right. I I don't know. I think they just make up stuff to complain about sometimes. I have a video I'm working on. Well, I've got it shot. I need to edit yet, but about RF noise from power stations, as a matter of fact. And I'm sure it'll be scintillating. I was thinking about trying to do a video of installing the Microflex soft start, but I really don't want a live stream or a video of me actually electrocuting myself accidentally, so we'll probably skip that.
Well, so you can do it as a static video, and if it doesn't work, then just never publish it.
True. True.
There's a lot of stuff that hasn't made it to the audience that I've exploded.
Right. Yes, I've had a couple of electrical episodes of malfeasance that were
Yeah.
recorded, but they never made it to the
I'll
YouTube at
make a
all.
post-mortem repair video, but usually I don't have footage of it dying in
Right.
process. That's actually what we're going to fix Monday night on Nuggets is the old load. Something to talk about while we're answering
Oh
questions.
yeah,
I'll take
yeah.
this apart. Because what happened is I blew up the MOSFET that's attached to it, and I can't do a tear down and repair video without doing a tear down first, then ordering the part, then waiting for it to arrive, then repairing it. So this wasn't a full Nuggets episode possibility ever. But these things are really neat to play with, especially since you're doing battery testing type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the one that you let me. That I still have that one to get back to you. Actually, I'm giving you a new one in the box. The
Ooh.
Because I know how much you like the boxes that things come in originally. So I've got this thing plugged into my wall over here. Let's see if I can get you. It's a handheld camera. I can just point. So I can plug a battery into that wall beneath that load tester. So solar panel and then load tester and then have the battery here, and I can drain the battery while refilling it from the solar panel. So that's a pretty neat little thing that I can test out. Oh, Jim's lighting one up for the people.
I mean, I figure if Elon can smoke weed with Joe Rogan on their show, I can at least smoke a regular cigarette on mine. That is I love the setup you have actually, and I'm kind of working it through in my head, and I'll probably do a video on it too. I want to set up something like that out in my shop, um, with a solar panel and a 100 amp hour battery, maybe two of them in parallel, and an inverter, kind of as well, more of a failover power for a bunch of internet stuff out there.
Ken's wanting you to drink the Dr. Pepper. No, he only
This
drinks Dr. Pepper and smokes on camera for super chats.
this is coffee. I don't. I'd have to go back inside to get a Dr Pepper, and this is verboten in the house.
We just got him outside, folks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Genius
outside. People
Slims.
enjoy it. See, I mean, you hear birds and cars going by, and there were geese, for crying out loud. We have a
We,
giveaway that I was planning to do today. Is there still anybody here? Yeah, we got 154
yeah,
people.
we
Can
can
you
give
do the
away. What are we giving
giveaway
away?
thing?
Yeah, what are we
Uh,
giving away?
we're giving away a TID radio Bluetooth programmer.
Oh, nice. This video brought to you by TID Radio.
And the TID radio programmer, they sent it to me, full disclosure. I don't have any radios it will work with.
No
Uh,
Balfangs?
yeah, I'm Fang free. Well, I've given most of them away. I've given away almost every Baofeng I have. The ones I had, I know I gave away. I have an Abri, and I have something else, and it only works supposedly with a subset of radios, and they listed on their website what those radios are that it'll work with. Joe Brett did this thing is not new. It's been out for a while. Joe Brett did a video on it. I think T.O. did.
Yeah, I did.
Um, it's been out a year or two at least. But it works fine. And Tid Radio offered to send me one, and I said, sure, I'll do a video on it. And then it got here, and I looked at the equipment list, and I went, well, I can't
I
meet the
can't.
MEL, so
Yeah.
awkward.
We can just talk a boot it.
So it will let you. It plugs into the K connector on the side
There's
of
an
your
exclamation
HC.
point on that thing, folks.
Yep, it's got to be typed exactly like it is in the big blue letters in the middle of your screen.
William, it's supposed to be difficult. It's ham radio.
Just shift, William. That's that big fat key on the lower left side.
You got two of them.
There's one on the lower right side if you don't like going fast and turning left.
Yeah,
That's a NASCAR joke.
I
Um,
got it. That's
right.
minimum
That's
equipment list. MEL.
MEL. James got it. Well, he's in the business.
Airman.
So it plugs in the K connector, and I believe Tio correct me because I haven't actually gotten to use it.
Oh, I'll correct you.
I know you will. And it becomes a serial port with the
It
Bluetooth in your
is.
computer kind of thing.
It becomes a Bluetooth accessible device from a certain application on your cell phone, unless they have changed it. The original one, this is
Oh,
my
okay.
original complaint with this, is that it didn't just K connector to Bluetooth to serial interface, and then you can use whatever program you want. You have to use their programming app, and
I
in the
was
beginning,
unaware
you
of that.
had to have a login.
Okay.
So that kind of stank.
I would
I
not
gave away the
imagine.
red Balfang.
I would not imagine they changed it.
They did
Tio,
get a lot of flack from the community, so there is a default login floating out there. You can log in as everybody instead of logging in as yourself.
yeah, that gets annoying. And I was doing something the other day, and I had to create an account on some off-brand website, and I'm like, You're killing me. You don't need any of this. I should start making stuff up.
The last
Yes.
power station I reviewed had an actual login necessary. I mean, I can monitor the device over Wi-Fi, but
Mhm.
I don't want to monitor my power station. Maybe I can see a reason for it. I've got a cat in my RV that I'm trying to keep the air conditioning on for and make sure that it works, but that's way too much money for a cat.
Right.
Battery
Right.
powered air conditioning is thousands of dollars.
I think TID Radio kind of missed a thing with that thing not being a serial connection, so you could use your regular CPS.
Yeah, I do it right on my. I just use Chirp. It just show up as, COM27 or something.
Jawahar, good morning. The power consumption for 100 would be
Power consumption for
some
100 what?
100 watts. He's asking about the power consumption on the 100-watt version.
Usually 100-watt radios are 25 amps.
18 to 20, buddy. They're not nearly 25 amps.
Well, don't convert 100-watt RF directly to 100-watt DC. There's losses in getting the job done.
Yeah. Yeah, somewhere between 15 and 20. 25
Because
is
the
giving you 20% overhead, though, I would say.
the G90 takes 8 amps to do its job at 20 watts.
Okay. Okay. Jeez. So if you
I did a couple
extrapolate
videos on
out,
it.
that's a lot.
Yeah, there's overhead. I mean, like the 705 takes 2.5 amps to do 10 watts.
Okay. And there's a formula you have to use because your inverter is going to have inefficiency,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the difference.
Yeah, almost 20%. It's pretty bad.
Well, I
That's
said
why I
inverter.
that's why I really yeah, that's why I really hype on, like, don't take DC battery power to AC inverter to run your AC CPAP, because your AC CPAP probably has an AC to DC converter back in it also. Like, figure out how to make a CPAP that's portable.
Well, and I'm working on a video today, as a matter of fact, about doing
Yeah.
that.
I wasn't calling you out. Like,
Oh,
CPAP
no,
manufacturers need a DC CPAP.
it's actually in my plans to do that today if I don't kill myself installing the micro air.
A better example would be charging your cell phone. Your cell phone charges by DC, so don't convert to AC to plug in your cell phone charger to convert back to DC. Like,
Right,
straight DC, straight out.
right. So the CPAPs, we both have a CPAP, and the ones we have a power brick, and that power brick is
You and your wife,
yeah, me and my wife, not
not
Steve.
you and me.
I don't know what Steve has when he sleeps.
Yes, you do.
We weren't going to talk about that. Don't
We've spent many a
share.
night together, Jim.
But you're wasting a lot of battery juice, and the video is going to be about plugging your CPAP, for example, into one of those power stations. Yes, you can plug it in the AC thing and use it, but you won't get near the runtime because you're using a lot of extra power that's getting burned up as heat, and it's
Yeah.
just wasted.
So it's also the same thing as um, when you convert 12 volts DC to 5 volts DC, you're also losing. There's inefficiencies in that conversion as well. You're throwing away some of that electricity as heat to get it down to 5 volts.
Yep.
It's not a straight conversion.
And some power stations, and it depends on the power stations, and this doesn't seem to be anywhere close to standard on these things. Some of them will have DC outputs in the form of a cigarette lighter plug, or
Mm-hmm.
PowerPoint is the more PC version, I guess, to say these days. But some of them have a 5525 jack, the
Mm-hmm.
5.5 millimeter by 2.5 millimeter barrel jack. Some of them have an XT60 connector. Some of them have power poles.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on which one you have. And worst case, you're going to end up making a cable, and that's
I'm gonna hit that draw button.
hit that draw. But I can't read that. I don't know how many there
There's
are.
48 people and it wasn't going up anymore. Andy Cowley, holy moly! You might
I
just want to send him one on Amazon.
I will probably send him one from Amazon
You want me to
because
do
the
it
ship.
again?
Andy Callie, do you want one? I will send you one anyway because you're the world's best awesome member.
I'm gonna draw again. See if we can get a U.S. side person. And then if Andy, if you want one, speak up. Leaf or Leif.
Leif.
That's my
That's
mistake.
that was my next door neighbor at Huntsville, and he will be my next door neighbor this year at Huntsville as well. All right, Leif, I assume you're good on the Zed. I will get yours mailed out to you tomorrow. And Andy Cowley, if you're still here, which you must have been because you entered the chat.
He probably went to bed. Or he's on 160 meters now. He's on top band.
Top band. I will send you one as well, Andy Cowley. I'll do it through Amazon because I don't know. Shipping will probably cost 3 times what the dingus costs. I'll have to check on that. Andy, shoot me your address in. I think
Andy
I
said
have your
yes.
address.
He says yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get it taken care of.
Yep. All right. Tio, hit the button. Guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
Done. See ya.